presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Minnesota.
For 25 years, your home for Minnesota Twins baseball.
Ultimately, this is a game, and I know that it ends up paying the bills, and this is a business. But you got to have fun. I know when things don't go your way, and it's obviously not fun, and you got to try to find a way to keep it relaxed and keep it fun. And you're going to go through this no matter what. No matter if you're any team in baseball, you're going to go through periods where you're struggling, and it doesn't seem like anything is going your way.
Another beautiful day in South Florida. Game number 4 as the Minnesota Twins take on the red-hot Tampa Bay Rays here on Fox Sports North. Mike Pelfrey looking to have some fun. He certainly had a lot of fun in his last start in Toronto. 6 innings of shutout work as the Twins won that game 6-0. Unfortunately, it's their only win in the month of July. It'll be a tall order today for the Minnesota Twins. They are 7-9 against left-handed pitchers, but they face one of the best in Matt Moore. He's won his last 4 and has a 12-3 record on the season. Welcome inside Tropicana Field. We ended our broadcast just about 12 hours ago last night, a marathon game, a 13-inning win for the Tampa Bay Rays. Throughout that game, Tampa Bay pitchers were very difficult on the Twins hitters as they combined to strike out 19 Minnesota hitters. The bullpen for the Rays, 7 shutout innings. This was a 3-3 game in the 6th inning, and it would stay that way all the way through. Twins also got a very good game out of their bullpen. Ron Gardenhire using 6 different pitchers, highlighted by Anthony Swarzak's brilliant 2 2/3 innings. But in the end, it was Ben Zobrist who would have the last laugh as Presley at the end of the game with a runner in scoring position gives up this walk-off single, and Tampa Bay had won their 7th consecutive game. It's going to come up and down to a matchup on the mound. Pitching in, Matt Moore against Mike Pelfrey. Dick Kramer, Bert Blyleven break down the matchup and get you ready for game number 4. Twins and the Rays next on Fox Sports North.
Is presented by Northland Ford. Visit northlandford.com and your local Northland Ford dealers today. By Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. And by South Dakota Tourism. South Dakota, your American journey begins here. The Twins have not done well in the state of Florida this year. They lost a couple of games in Miami a couple of weeks ago. And today, Mike Pelfrey will make the start for the Twins against Matt Moore, hoping that the Twins can win the final game of this 4-game series. And good morning to you from Tropicana Field. Dick Bramer and Bert Blyleven for the final game of this series. Long night last night for the Twins, a disappointing loss in 13 innings. And now Mike Pelfrey will try to do what he did earlier in this road trip. It was a 6-game losing streak. The Twins were in Toronto, and Pelfrey stopped it.
Yeah, Pelfrey just came off the disabled list with that back injury, and Pelfrey, what he saw and what I saw was a guy that really attacked the strike zone. 97 pitches, 6 shutout innings, exactly what the doctor ordered for today's game here in Tampa. Be aggressive in the strike zone, put some zeros on the board. Hopefully the offense can get you some early run support.
And he hopes to end what is now a 4-game losing streak. Matt Moore, though, will be a tough customer for the Twins hitters.
Yeah, you know what? His last 2 starts here in July, shutout starts. Over the last 17 1/3 innings, he's not allowed a run. Young man, 12 wins, has not made the All-Star team yet, but he's making his second career start against the Twins.
Aaron Hicks is in the lineup for the Twins today after making a great catch again last night. And the Twins are hoping that this young group of ball players can end this losing skid in St. Petersburg. You look at the wins chart with Matt Moore looking to pick up win number 13 on the season. And as Bert mentioned, he is not yet on the All-Star team for the American League, but that very likely is going to change by the time the Twins wrap up their series against the Yankees.
Yeah, some of those starters on that list are going to be pitching on Sunday, so they may be replaced for the Tuesday game, and Matt Moore's name, I'm sure, is in that hat.
The Menards batting order. for the Minnesota Twins. Brian Dozier in the leadoff spot. Jamie Carroll, Joe Mauer, Trevor Plouffe, Chris Parmalee, Oswaldo Arcia, Aaron Hicks, Cleve Thomas, Pedro Florimon. As you look at that lineup, only Carroll and Mauer have accumulated 1,000 at-bats in the big leagues. Just another reminder of how inexperienced this Twins team is in 2013.
And they're facing an inexperienced pitcher, Matt Moore, just in his second full season with the Tampa Bay Rays. You know, he's had kind of like, he started the season, first 9 starts, 8-0, very good earned run average, kind of hit a little skid to where he struggled a little bit, but over his last 4 starts, 4-0 with a 1.4 earned run average.
Northland Ford defense for the Rays. Matt Joyce in left, Sam Fold in center, Will Myers in right. Evan Longoria back in the lineup. Sean Rodriguez, Kelly Johnson up the middle, James Loney at first, Jose Lobaton behind the plate. And in this 4-game series, all 4 umps have had a chance to get behind the plate. It's Mike Estabrook's turn. The Twins have run into some very good starting pitching in this 4-game series, and they won't face David Price. That's what they've got going on here in St. Petersburg, and that's why a lot of people think it's just a matter of time before they get to and perhaps even past the Boston Red Sox and get into the playoffs.
Yeah, their starting staff over the last 2+ weeks have been outstanding. You just saw Chris Archer right there. He defeated the Twins a couple nights ago. Start your engine, starting pitching for the Rays over the last 18 ball games, 4-14-2 team record. But look at the ERA. Unbelievable.
The Twins have been stymied by the bullpen, and then you look at what the starters have done, and it's there's no question as to why the Rays have caught fire and put together a good 2.5-week stretch.
Well, they still find themselves 3.5 games behind the Boston Red Sox, so they're trying to stay close as the first half of the season winding down.
Brian Dozier didn't start the game. Entered the game late, had 2 brief plate appearances, and absolutely knocked the stuffing out of the ball twice for 2 outs. A line drive to left and a line drive to Longoria. He is in the leadoff spot and playing second base.
Well, one thing facing Matt Moore, you want to have a little bit of patience. 53 walks in 100 innings pitched, but 98 strikeouts. So a lot of pitches in a short amount of time if you can make him throw strikes. That fastball, first fastball high.
Ball 1, and officially good morning to all of you in the Central Time Zone. An early start here today after a 13-inning loss last night. 1-0, and now a strike.
Well, his velocity down from last year is down about 2 miles an hour. He's trying to cut back a little bit to get better control. Last year, an 11-game winner and 31 starts.
Popped up near the Twins' dugout. And Longoria with room to make the catch.
Well, Moore's last 3 starts covering over the last 17 1/3 innings of shutout baseball. Look at that, 19 1/3 innings has allowed only 1 run. So Matt Moore has been pitching outstanding again. Had a great month of April, pretty good month of May, struggled in June, and a very good start to the month of July.
1 down, Jamie Carroll will bat. And strike 1. Carroll started in the ball game last night at second base. Pop up to short right. Johnson barely on the outfield turf, makes the catch, 2 down. And Joe Mauer will hit next. He'll catch today and start behind the plate in the All-Star game.
It's an exciting time, and definitely it's a great honor. Very nice in the middle of the season to get recognized for playing well, and bring a teammate along. A teammate I've known for a long time, and Glenn makes it really special.
And it should be a special time, as you saw Mauer going to his 6th All-Star game, 4 times voted in by the fans. Mauer reached his last 4 times last night, 3 hits and a walk. As the designated hitter, Ryan Doumit caught all 13 innings and will not start this ball game in either the catching spot or the DH spot. 2 strikes.
Oh, Matt Moore with a fastball in the low 90s. He'll get that baby up maybe later in the ball game, 95, 96. Curveball, changeup. That changeup right there to Joe Mauer, swung and missed. Not a lot of at-bats against Moore, only making his second appearance against the Twins.
Foul tip, and Lobaton hangs on, and Moore has a 1-2-3 first inning. They continue their roll into and then through the All-Star break to the second half. The Menards batting order for the Rays. Matt Joyce in the leadoff spot, followed by Will Myers, Luke Scott, the designated hitter, Evan Longoria, James Loney, Kelly Johnson, Jose Lobaton, Sam Fold, and Sean Rodriguez.
And Mike Pelfrey on the mound making his 16th start. This is his first start against the Rays here in St. Petersburg. When he was with the Mets, he faced the Rays in New York, a no decision in a Rays 10-6 win. Pelfrey coming off the good shutout performance in his last start.
Northland Ford defense for the Twins. Arcia, Hicks, Thomas across the outfield. Carroll at third. Florimon, Dozier back up the middle together. Parmalee at first. Justin Morneau not in the lineup. Neither is Ryan Doman. And Joe Mauer behind the plate. Matt Joyce will lead things off against Mike Pelfrey, who pitched very well for the Twins against the Jays, but had a very rough first inning. Pelfrey, usually a strike thrower, doesn't walk too many people, but he walked 3 guys in the first inning. Got the last out of the first, and then didn't give the Jays anything after that. And first pitch strike.
And after that, that's what I saw. Attack the strike zone with that fastball. Fastball clocked here at 92.
The roughness of the first inning could be attributed to adrenaline. He hadn't pitched for a while. Rust. He hadn't pitched for a while, or a combination of both. 2 strikes. But he really stepped up with perhaps his finest start as a Twin at a time when they really needed it, with a 6-game losing streak. And now today he'll try to end a 4-game streak. 2 strikes to Joyce. 1-2.
Well, the Twins get into the second half. You know, they're going to New York from here, then the All-Star break. What they're looking for is consistency. And Pelfrey, you know, coming off the disabled list, good start. But prior to that, very inconsistent. Only 5 quality starts in his 15 starts.
You hope for consistency from the veterans. It's unrealistic to expect the rookies to be consistent.
Right.
You'd like that, but it's unrealistic. Kyle Gibson here the other night pitched 6 innings, allowed runs in just one of the innings, but there were 4 runs that the Rays scored in that inning. And that's the whole point for Gibson, to get up here and have innings like that this year so he doesn't repeat them next year. Pop up behind third. Carroll in foul territory with the catch, 1 away. Mike Pelfrey talked about his last start, the win at Toronto.
You know, I thought I made a good adjustment there after that first inning, and kind of slowed everything down. And I feel like hopefully I can do that tomorrow, because obviously the adrenaline's going to be there in the first inning, like it always is. And I'm just going to try to slow it down and be able to keep going and attack hitters, and hopefully I don't have any of those 30 pitch innings, so I can go a little farther than 6 innings.
Now, Pelfrey, a veteran, this is his 169th major league start. I don't care if it's your 169th or your first start. You do have those jitters. You should, going into a ball game. And what you want to do is find out what's working over the first couple innings, take a deep breath, and then hopefully do what he did in his last start. Pitch very well from the first inning on, or the second inning on.
2-0. Talked about this in Toronto and maybe the other night here as well. When you're in a stretch like the Twins are in, it just seems so difficult to win a ball game when it's easier said than done, of course, but it's just not that difficult. You pitch well, you catch it, you throw it, you get a hit here or there at a key time, and you won a ball game.
Well, you get a hit in a key time, and that's one thing we have not seen the Twins offense do. Now, it's not all the offense. It's a combination of just ugly play at times for the Twins over this stretch, but you know what? Nobody's going to feel sorry for you.
Pass Carroll into left field. Myers has a hit with one. Case in point, Pelfrey's start against Toronto. The Twins had lost 6 in a row. First ball put in play, and Florimone throws wildly. There's an error, but Pelfrey picks the guy off. Reyes. Here's a look at Myers' base hit.
Well, Myers, just getting his feet wet at the major league level. Got a fastball and hit that sharply past the diving Carroll at third base for the first hit of the ball game.
And then Pelfrey with 2 outs in the first inning walks 3 guys in a row, but he got the final out of the inning, didn't allow the Jays to score a run, then faced the minimum number of hitters through the next 5 innings. And that first inning could have completely blown up in his face. It didn't. It was an imperfect game after the first inning, but Twins found a way to win a ball game, and in shutout fashion.
Yeah, Twins won that ball game 6-0.
1 strike to Luke Scott. And now down and away 1-1. Last game for the Twins in the state of Florida, and they won't see palm trees again until spring training opens next February. That's probably a good thing. Last road trip, the Twins lost 2 games in Miami, and they've lost the first 3 here in St. Petersburg.
Yeah, the Rays have beaten the Twins the last 8 meetings, dating back to last year.
2-1.
Two very good managers facing each other. Joe Madden, 2-time American League Manager of the Year. Ron Gardenhire, American League Manager of the Year in 2010. Madden in 2008 and 11.
2-1 to Luke Scott. 3-1. Longoria on deck.
This is where you have to trust down and away right here. Hopefully get a ground ball. 11 ground ball double plays turned behind Pelfrey, this being his 16th start. 54 major league wins, 60 losses in Pelfrey's career.
And there goes the runner on the pitch shot foul. It's interesting listening to Pelfrey. We've lauded him recently for picking up the pace and pitching with more tempo out there, but he said one of the keys in his start against Toronto, slowing things down.
Well, I think he meant more slowing things down internally than really going out and, I mean, he's got that soft delivery anyway, meaning soft, it's slow, it's not aggressive. You won't see it as much as you will out of the windup, where he's really deliberate getting to that balance point. Well, if Myers runs on 3-1, you know he's running right here.
There he goes. And the pitch lifted to right. Very high fly. And Thomas with the catch, out number 2. When you join the Twins season ticket family this year, you'll hit the sweet spot. Purchase any of the Twins season ticket packages and receive 10% off food, beverage, and merchandise bought at Target Field. Season ticket prices are also up to 20% cheaper than single game purchases. You still have time. Even though we're in the middle of July, you can call 833-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com. 2 gone, a runner at first, and here's Longoria. But there is a marked difference between the tempo Pelfrey has on the mound with the bases empty and when there, as there is now, are men on base. And he picked Reyes off in the first inning in Toronto.
Yeah, Will Myers, not a very big lead right there, but he had to dive back in.
Inside, ball 1. Longoria's been struggling.
Yeah, 2 for 12 so far in the series, and if you go back his last 14 ball games, just hitting 136. 6 hits in his last 44 at bats.
1-0 from Pelfrey. Pelfrey falling behind hitters here. 17 pitches, 9 strikes.
See the last 10 games for Evan Longoria. In his 6th season with the Rays, he's a 3-time All-Star, American League Rookie of the Year back in 2008 for the Rays.
Loney on deck. I think everybody in baseball thought that the Rays would have a good young pitching staff. What has surprised a lot of people in baseball is their lineup, I think, has been more productive in terms of scoring runs than most people thought. And Loney, a big part of that, having a nice year in his first year, maybe his only year with the Rays.
They come into this ball game hitting .261 as a ball club.
It's hit to right center field. Thomas gliding in to put an end to the inning. Base hit does no damage. Scoreless first inning.
Welcome back to the Trop. No score after 1. The Twins had a roster move with Caleb Thielbar heading back to Minnesota today for a bereavement leave with the death of his grandmother. That means it's Major League debut time for Michael Tonkin today. 6'7", 220-pound California native. He's just 23 years old. Had a struggle getting out of Class A, but lately, guys, been much better. And barring a complete game gem from Mike Pelfrey, which we'd love to see, you know, Ron Gardner has kind of hinted at the fact that with the way the bullpen is set up today, there's a good chance we see Michael Tonkin. And it was fun to talk to him earlier this morning, and you could just tell how excited, amped up he is to be here in a big league uniform, guys, for the very first time.
I'm sure he's trying to take it all in. Thank you, Kevin, very much.
Trevor Plouffe, Chris Parmelee, Oswaldo Arcia to hit for the Twins in the second against Matt Moore. Plouffe, the lone position player to not play in the ball game last night. And he takes strike one. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Good changeup right there, down and away.
Moore has it all. And today he's looking for his 13th win.
Opponents coming in hitting only 220 off of Moore. Left-handers 223, right-handers 218. So he's done a good job against both righties and lefties, and he picks up his second strikeout. Twins struck out 19 times last night in the 13 innings, and so far, another good, looked like a changeup down in the zone.
11 pitches, 10 strikes. Mauer and Plouffe have struck out on 6 pitches, and here's Chris Parmelee. Off the plate, ball one. Parmelee getting a chance to play at first base. Typically we've seen him, of course, in right field. Justin Morneau had a tough day at the plate and gets the starting assignment off. Parmelee and Doman and Eduardo Escobar all sitting inside 2-1. Foul back. After the game today, the Twins go to New York, open up a series tomorrow night against the Yankees, 3 games, and then the All-Star break. Two and 2 to Parmelee. Got a foul ball off the handle of the bat.
Yeah, Matt Moore, just 23 years old. He came up a couple years ago, a September call-up, and then put into the rotation last year. Made 31 starts. No one strikes so far. Mentioned before, coming into the ball game, 53 walks in 100 innings pitched coming into this ball game.
Another 2-2. Inside 3-2 with Arcia on deck. I mentioned sometimes Moore's lack of control gets the best of him. We'll see if the Twins can get a base runner here. Parmelee with a 3-2 count, and he swings and misses on a pitch out near the outside corner. 3 straight strikeouts, 2 away. You can vote for the Arby's Value Player of the Game. Text value, the word value, then a space and the player's last name to 234-234. Let us know who you think had the most value in today's game, and we'll tell you the winner in the postgame show.
Yeah, the Rays pitching staff, they are 3rd most in the American League as far as striking out opponent batters. Detroit leading, then you have the Boston Red Sox, and then the Rays.
Been a tough road trip for Arcia. 4 strikeouts in the ball game last night.
Really worked them inside, and that's where The catcher sat in right there, but the fastball away.
Ball one. The average down to 268.
Lobaton catching more here this afternoon.
Two and 0.
Sometimes you have catchers that you seem to pitch better to, and Lobaton, when he's behind the plate for Moore, Moore has a 2.34 earned run average. When Molina catches him, he has a 5.45 ERA.
Lifted harmlessly toward left. Matt Joyce drifting near the line. Makes the catch. Another 1, 2, 3 innings with a couple of strikeouts for Matt Moore. So far, it'll be James Loney, Kelly Johnson, and Jose Lobaton facing Mike Pelfrey in the second inning. Talked about Pelfrey's first inning in Toronto and the control issues he had with 3 walks. And then after that, some hits, but some double plays behind him. An outfield infield double play, a ground ball double play, a strike him out, throw him out. So he cleaned up whatever base runners he had to face and faced the minimum after that, falling behind 2-0 to Loney to start the second inning. Just 10 pitches so far for Pelfrey.
Yeah, Loney and Pelfrey, of course, time in the National League, and Loney with just 1 hit in 10 at-bats against Pelfrey. The ball's behind here. Mauer sitting outer half of the plate.
Foul back. One theory and the hope for Pelfrey is that the time on the disabled list allowed him to just take the foot off the gas for a little bit. When you think the accelerated pace he was on from the time he had surgery to rehab and get back on the mound, pitch in a ball game, a major league game before the 1-year anniversary of the surgery. Inside 3-1. He was forced to just kind of shut things down for a while because of the back issue. And maybe that in the long term will do him some good.
Well, Pelfrey, like I mentioned, when he see his delivery right there, very deliberate, gets into that balance point and then lets it fly.
Florimone scoops it up, fires to first, 1 away.
Let's take a look at Mike Pelfrey. Now, Pelfrey, good size, 6'7", about 250. Steps, gets that right foot into that pitching rubber against it, and then the explosion at the end.
Now, are we still going to do a Coors Light freeze cam? Because Pelfrey went back and he just kind of froze for a while. But the freeze cam still is upcoming, right? One down. I guess it's the one game this year we actually don't have the Coors Light freeze cam today. So we showed one to you anyway. Gave him a free plug. Who knows what that might mean for you down the line? That it happens to be
I know what it means.
That it happens to be your favorite beer might in some way, shape, or form benefit you down the road.
I appreciate that.
2 strikes to Kelly Johnson.
Well, Johnson got the big hit off of Kevin Correa to tie the game in yesterday's ball game in the 6th inning, a 2-run home run.
1-2. And then neither team scored until the Rays got their run in the 13th inning on Zobrist's single. 1-2. Up, and it's 2-2. And got him looking. Johnson called out on strikes, 2 down.
Went back inside again after missing inside on the previous pitch and picks up his first strikeout. Previous pitch inside. Mauer sitting in again. And that ball getting part of the plate. Pelfrey picking up his 41st strikeout on the season in 78 innings pitched.
Lobatone will hit with 2 gone in the 2nd. Ball 1.
Mentioned that the Rays are 3rd in the American League as far as strikeouts of opponents. The Twins are last in the American League in that department. Not a strikeout staff. Pelfrey in his shutout, 6 shutout innings in his last start, only 2 strikeouts in that outing against the Blue Jays.
1-1 to Lobatone. Inside, 2-1.
Lobatone, a switch hitter in his 3rd season with the Rays. Came over from the Padres.
Fouled away. 2-2. To center field, and Hicks over a few steps. And Pelfrey has a 1-2-3 second inning. How many times you see a guy make a routine catch and he leads off the next inning?
1 out of 9.
Sports North is presented by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. By Grand Casino, the best stories start here. And by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us.
That looked like you standing there.
Could be.
Behind the woman in the pink there, walking towards us. That's you standing back there.
Enjoying the beach.
With your feet in the sand, staring out at the water with a blank look on your face. That was you.
That was exactly me.
Aaron Hicks will lead off the third.
Were you talking to me?
Hicks, Thomas, and Florimone to face Matt Moore. Hicks had a 4-hit game here the other night. All of those hits from the left side of the plate. Had a double in the ball game last night from the left side of the plate. Getting a rare at bat recently from the right side. 1 strike. Talked to Aaron this morning. He's just fine after his catch and collision with the center field wall. So it kind of dazed him a little bit right after it happened, but he's fine this morning. It's the type of thing you'd think, well, maybe his neck muscles hurt or something. It just made a catch and crashed into the padding over a steel post out there in center field.
That was a great catch. He has made some great catches already in his rookie season.
Out in front of the 85-mile-per-hour offering, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, it's nothing new for Twins center fielders. You know, you go back to Kirby Puckett, Torrey Hunter, you know, Denard Span, Ben Revere. Now Aaron Hicks.
2-2.
Hicks is a right-handed hitter, hitting .240. 3 of the 7 home runs coming from the right side of the plate. Moore has allowed 8 home runs, this being his 19th start.
Right center field, Fold chasing it, measuring it, and catching it. 1 away. Here's Aaron Hicks' latest great catch.
Oh, that's coming late in the ball game in the 10th inning. And if he doesn't catch this ball as a 3-2 pitch, runner was off. And he leaped at the last second, made the catch, and then faced right into that padded wall. But right there was that steel post behind that padded wall.
Kept the game alive for the Twins. And as we discussed last night, this is a treacherous outfield to play because there essentially is no warning track. I don't know how the Players Association, frankly, allows this. If I'm protecting the interests of my players, I'm going to say, look, you've got to have some sort of different texture out there rather than just changing the color of the carpeting.
Yeah, I mean, they have the dirt infield. There's no reason why they cannot use the dirt, same type of dirt infield on the warning track.
And again, we said when the Twins came here for early batting practice on the Monday, Chris Parmalee did his imitation of Butch Husky. Did a face plant into the wall in right field. Thomas gone quickly, 2 down.
Yeah, 4 strikeout for Moore. First 8 batters he's faced. Breaking ball. Parmalee, I think, talking about the pitch of Moore, how it might take off a little bit. Sneaky fast. We saw that from Hellickson here. You know, kind of a nice, smooth delivery, but then sneaky fast type fastball.
Florimone getting the start against a left-hander.
That fastball, last fastball at 94.
Florimone with just 5 hits in 51 at bats from this side of the plate. Back to the pitcher. Moore with a catch. And another 1-2-3 inning for Matt Moore. showing improvement at the plate and in the field as the season is worn along. A little time on the disabled list himself with a pulled hamstring. Sam Foltz, Sean Rodriguez, and Matt Joyce face Mike Pelfrey in the third. Strike one. Missing the inside corner, 1-1.
Full 31 years old, originally came to the big leagues with the Cubs in his third season with the Rays.
Popped up. Carroll with a glance down to the third base bag, makes the catch. One down. Well, we showed you the catches. You can vote for which Aaron Hicks catch is the best this season on the AT Twitter poll. When he robbed Adam Dunn, when he robbed Carlos Gomez, or keeping the game alive last night in the 10th inning. 3 outstanding catches, and just based on my informal poll around the breakfast table this morning, 3 people and 3 different catches. You can make a case for any of the 3. Which one's your favorite?
Yeah, they're all great catches. I kind of like the one that one last night, only because you don't know exactly where you're at. You're tracking the ball. You don't have that, the difference on the as far as where you're at, as far as the warning track, the concentration, the catch, and then banging into the wall. He robbed Adam Dunn of the home run. He robbed Gomez of the home run, but that one last night in this ballpark was a heck of a catch.
Into center, down for a hit. Rodriguez has a 1-out single. And that'll bring up Matt Joyce. I would agree with you. When I consider these things, I strongly consider physical pain. And reaching over the fence, as acrobatic as it is, great catch and all that. But boy, when you run face first into the wall, that's got to hurt. And he held on to the baseball. 1 down, second base hit for the Rays, and Matt Joyce, the batter. Outside ball 1.
Offensively, Hicks has not had the season yet that I think, that he would like to have, and it's getting better. But defensively, I think we have seen great plays throughout April, May, June, and here in July.
I think as he's gotten used to the ballparks, particularly his home ballpark, he's gotten better jumps in the outfield, as you might expect. You just, get more experience. You get more time out there. Get to see major league hitters and how the ball comes off their bat. Popped up, backing out of play, 1-1.
Well, he never played at the Metrodome, but this is probably the closest he will ever adventure to play in a Teflon type baggy roof here at Tropicana Field. Day games are a little more difficult than night games because even though it's raining outside, it's lighter. Sometimes the baseball is the same type of, looks like the Teflon baggy roof, the darkness of it.
1-1. Another pop-up in foul ground, tracked by Carroll, but he has no play. Some of the outstanding plays by Aaron Hicks in his rookie season.
Well, that's that one of Adam Dunn. Diving, making a nice play. The Gomez takeaway. Yeah, that was last night.
Yeah, that was early in the game last night. That was a big catch, too.
He's not committed an error yet out in center field.
1-2. Excuse me, dribbler to third. Carroll alertly hangs on to the ball. Florimone was headed toward third base anyway, but a check swing single by Joyce. First and second one away.
Boy, not much you can do about that right there. It was a check swing. The ball just stays fair down that third baseline. Watch this pitch right here. Joyce kind of just check swing. Sometimes you get lucky, and that's exactly what happened to Matt Joyce right there. Carroll comes in, has to barehand it, and then realizes he has no play.
He had checked his swing to the degree where if he hadn't made contact, it wouldn't have been called a strike. I mean, his bat stayed behind the plate.
That's kind of what we've seen in the first 3+ games from Evan Longoria. Maybe that's what
he's trying to get hits that way.
Yeah.
Bill Myers with a single his first time. Inside, ball one.
Myers, a 22-year-old rookie coming over from the Kansas City Royals in the James Shields trade. Started the season down in AAA, got called up in the middle of June.
Over Florimone's head. And it'll drive in the first run of the game. A busted bat single. Rodriguez scores 3 straight hits in the game's first run.
Myers picking up his 14th RBI. Got jammed right there, but hits it softly into left field as Rodriguez scores from second base.
Pelfrey running it in on the trademark. 3 straight hits, so 1-0 Rays lead. Luke Scott, the batter, still with just 1 out. Scott with a fly ball to right.
You know, right there, that pitch right there, if you're going to go inside, you have to miss hard in and drive him off the plate and then go down and away. Seen that happen too many times this year. You know, you're trying to go inside, but we do not have an overpowering starting staff, and we keep making that mistake in, and allows that hitter to open up. You go in, you better go hard in and then establish down and away. Those are the fundamentals of pitching, and we make so many mistakes, this staff does, on going in.
2-0. Mauer to the mound.
You see Mauer wanting it in, but that ball, yeah, it's inside. But what you're doing is, you know, a young kid like Myers, he's looking to open up. That's exactly what he does.
When Ron Coomer filled in for you in Toronto, we discussed that the difference to a hitter, and of course, Ron was a right-handed batter, the pitch inside being 3 or 4 inches inside, or actually getting into the batter's box and standing a hitter up. Specifically, Jose Bautista, who the Twins worked over inside in Pelfrey's start on Saturday. Right. 2-0. Should be a double play. Florimone to the bag. 3 straight hits and the first run of the game for Tampa Bay.
Well, Mike Pelfrey just gave up the base hit to Will Myers to take a 1-0 lead for the Rays. But Matt Moore, 3 shutout innings, came into this ball game with 17 1/3 innings of consecutive shutout baseball. There's a Myers base hit on a 1-0 fastball, middle in. Scores Rodriguez for the game's only run so far.
Twins looking for their first hit, first base runner. After a perfect first 3 innings for Moore, it'll be Dozier, Carroll, and Mauer facing him for the second time in the 4th. Dozier fouled out to Longoria his first time up. Ball 1.
Moore 3 shutout innings, only 31 pitches thrown. 4 strikeouts.
A foul, 1-1.
Moore making his 51st major league start. He has 24 wins, only 14 losses. Longest outing at the major league level, 8 innings. That coming earlier this year in a win against the Yankees here.
Popped up. And Moore watches Rodriguez make the catch, 1 away. Twins tickets remain available and affordable. A summer's worth of good times at Target Field. You can check out the Steal of the Week and demand-based pricing for great deals on single game purchases all season long. These and other special deals available every day of the week at twinsbaseball.com/tickets or over the phone 1-800-33-TWINS. 10 up, 10 down. Here's Jamie Carroll. Popped up to the second baseman Johnson his first time up. Strike 1. Carroll, of course, not getting nearly the playing time that he got last year as the Twins made the commitment this year to go with Dozier and Florimone up the middle and Plouffe at third base. And I think one of the reasons Jamie's had his problems at the plate has been the sporadic playing time.
Well, he's a veteran. He knows what he needs to do to get ready. A career 276 hitter. You know, you just yeah, you want to play more often, but you know, you come out early to the ballpark. He's out there taking early batting practice.
Preparation's the same as it was last year.
That's kind of been his career, though. When he first came up with the Expos, he never was a regular player, even, you know, with the Rockies, the Indians, the Dodgers. But you know what? He's played 12 years at this level. And he's had some very solid years. He's a guy that can play a lot of different positions.
Solid contact, hit right at Joyce, 2 down. We'll bring up Joe Mauer. Coming up on Tuesday, the All-Star game from Citi Field in New York. It's coming up Tuesday only on Fox. Mauer will be joined by teammate Glenn Perkins. Do some changes and additions to each league's roster. American League, of course, managed by Jim Leland.
Yeah, Joe's first All-Star game back in 2006. He went to Pittsburgh. Then he went to New York in 2008, St. Louis in 2009, Anaheim in 2010, last year in Kansas City. And now he's back in New York again, this time in the Mets' new stadium.
And he wants to make next year's All-Star team, too. It would be a big thrill for any Twin to be in the All-Star game in your home ballpark. 1-0 to Mauer, and he takes up an in 2-0. In 1985 at the Metrodome, the Twins had just one All-Star. It was Tom Bernansky, who ended up winning the home run derby for the American League. It was a different format back then, but Bernansky was the only Twins All-Star in '85. Fouled back 2-1.
Good swing right there by Joe. Just got underneath it. There's Bruno.
Now the hitting coach for the Twins. 1965, the Twins were very well represented at Metropolitan Stadium. Tony Oliva, Armin Killebrew, Earl Batty, Mudcat Grant, Jimmy Hall. 3-1. Twins don't have a base runner yet. Moore's had a couple of 3-ball counts. And the Twins get a 2-out walk. That'll bring up Blue. Every night, every day that we televise, you can ask a question at carsoup.com/baseball. Ken in Hudson, Wisconsin, wondering who we think is the biggest snub or snubs from the All-Star game this season so far.
I don't care if you have a 40-man roster. There's always going to be somebody that you say, boy, he should make the All-Star team. Well, this is one right here. He's off to a good start. Matt Moore.
Evan Longoria would be someone you would think could have been added but wasn't. Jim Leland said, well, he just really felt he needed 2 third basemen, not 3 of them. Manny Machado is going to make the squad. Josh Donaldson of the A's having a great year, another third baseman. Loof takes a strike inside, 0-2. Loof struck out on 3 pitches, leading off the second inning. 0-2 here in the 4th. That's strike 3. And Blue stands at home plate. He didn't think he went. The appeal was made. Jerry Lane said, yes, you did. The ball went to the backstop. And the inning ends on a strikeout.
Yeah, you can argue later, you know. I mean, look right here. Let's take a look at the pitch right here. Looked like a breaking ball, and they said Plouffe went too far.
Well, he did check, it looked like.
Yeah.
But didn't matter what you or I think. Jerry Lane said it was strike 3, and Plouffe never moved from the batter's box. Bottom of the 4th. And Evan Longoria will lead things off. Ball 1. Rays with 4 hits. Twins don't have one yet, and the Rays, as winning teams do, they bunch them together. 3 hits in a row to score a run in the 3rd. Pelfrey not throwing the high percentage of strikes he did in Toronto. 51 pitches, 27 strikes. Longoria, Loney, and Johnson. Fly ball to center. Just right at Aaron Hicks. One away. Twins will head to New York after the game, where when they play the Yankees this weekend, they'll have Derek Jeter in the lineup. He's DHing today and will probably be at shortstop tomorrow night.
Hopefully the Twins can go to New York and change things around a little bit with their lack of luck in New York.
Loney with a bouncer to short, his first time up.
And I think everybody in baseball happy to have Jeter back in that Yankee lineup. He has been a class act for that Yankee organization. And
the public perception of the left side of the Yankee infield over the years, the two guys who played over there, couldn't be more far apart than they are. You know?
I agree.
I don't think there's anybody who follows the game of baseball. Liner to center, a base hit for Loney, who, although you may have nothing but contempt for the Yankees, you have to admire how Jeter has performed and how he's carried himself, how he's represented the Yankees in the game of baseball. And I don't know that I know that's not the case for Alex Rodriguez.
No, it's like night and day. But you know, he handles the media well. Jeter, you know, he says the right thing, and he is. That's why he's the captain.
Kelly Johnson, the batter. There are reports, of course, that after the All-Star break, perhaps shortly after the All-Star break, baseball will announce suspensions of players linked to the biogenesis lab here in Florida.
Yeah, out of Miami area. It'll be interesting to see the 20. I believe there's 20 names on that list of what baseball does.
It's going to get messy. I don't see any way around it. The revelation of the names is one thing. The releasing of the suspensions is one thing, but then the appeal process, how's that going to get sorted out? There almost certainly will be appeals by the Players Association, the players themselves. 2 strikes to Kelly Johnson. Called third strike. Johnson getting a wake-up call around 2 o'clock this afternoon, perhaps. He's been called out on strikes twice by the same pitch.
Yeah, Pelfrey picking up his second strikeout, both of them being Kelly Johnson on that fastball inside. Almost deja vu of his first strikeout.
2 down, Lobaton will hit. Off the end of the bat, Carroll has it. Over to Parmalee. A scoreless 4th, on to the 5th. It's still 1-0 Tampa Bay.
by Circle. 1,700 miles to see the Twins play. And Twin fans, don't forget at Twin home games, bring your Circle Me signs. And if you get circled, you may find yourself in a Minnesota Lottery winner circle where you could win $100 worth of lottery scratch-off tickets, courtesy of the Minnesota Lottery.
Flandreau, South Dakota, just across the Minnesota-South Dakota border. It's a little bit south of Elkton, a little bit, well, let's see.
Name a big town, would you?
Well, it's a little bit north of Sioux Falls, but,
okay.
You know, I'd like to mention Coleman, Nunda, South Dakota, Brookings.
Brookings, yes.
Heard of Brookings, yeah, on the Caravan.
I've been on the Caravan to Brookings.
Chris Parmalee will lead off the fifth for the Twins, still looking for their first hit against Matt Moore.
Yeah, good pitch count for Moore, 46 pitches in 4 shutout innings.
Better than a 2-to-1 strike to ball ratio, 32 strikes, 14 balls, and 4 of those were to Joe Mauer, who drew a walk, the only Twins base runner so far. Parmalee struck out his first time up, and he takes strike 1. Very high, 1-1. Actually have quite a few people here today. The attendance has been terrible in this series and throughout the season. A lot of school kids here.
Yeah, through Parks and Rec.
Not school kids. I guess it's school's not in session. 2-1. Camp day, what it is. I think a lot of campers here. You got the green camp. You got the
they're all
orange
enjoying
camp.
the game.
Yeah.
They got the clappers making some noise.
Strike on the outside corner. Did you ever go to summer camp?
No, never did. How about yourself?
No, I didn't either. 2-2 to Parmalee. Chopped to first. Loney backhands it, takes his time, finds the pitcher, 1 away. He was in absolutely no hurry to get the ball to the pitcher. We saw him start a double play where he almost took it and looked like it was batting practice.
Well, pitcher's responsibility, get over there. Loney kind of backpedaled right there, set himself, made sure that Moore was there, fed him early so Moore could catch the ball and then find the bag.
One down, here's Arcia. Fly ball to left, his first time up. Arcia going through his first prolonged skid. Ball hasn't been jumping off his bat like it did right after his recall.
I think what you're seeing is clubs getting a little scouting report on Arcia, and you're seeing a lot of clubs pitching him inside. So now he has to make the adjustment, be a little quicker inside.
1-0.
Advanced scouts watching every game.
He's getting a lot of pitches in there, isn't he? 2-0.
The left-hander Ramos came in last night, struck him out on 4 pitches, all of them fastballs inside.
Side corner's called, 2-1. Arcia thought it was outside.
Nice fluid delivery by Moore, and that ball popping out of his hand at 95 miles an hour.
Trouble foul, 2-2.
Moore signed by the Rays in 2007. Their number 8 round draft pick. 6'2", about 205. Again, just 23 years old.
Strike him out.
Strikeout number 6 for Moore.
Get ready for Fox Sports 1, America's new 24-hour sports network. Fox Sports 1 will be your home for great live sports, all the news and highlights you like, shows and specials that only Fox can bring you. America's new sports network, Fox Sports 1, coming just over a month, August 17th.
Moore's always been a strikeout pitcher. 700 minor league strikeouts in 497 minor league innings.
Aaron Hicks with a fly to center his first time up, and he takes ball one.
Jeremy Hellickson pitched last night, another prospect, another minor league pitcher that came up and has had success.
Swing and a miss.
At this level, Jim Hickey's done a good job. The organization's done a good job of getting these young pitchers, and that's one thing the Twins really lack. They're the young, talented pitchers for the Twins are down in low A ball, and Fort Myers are starting to come up. But
foul back 1-2. The one thing they've been able to do too is keep their pitchers healthy. They've got a different program here. David Price, in an interview, was talking about the strengthening program that the Rays worked with him on when he was still in the minor leagues, and it's something different. Price wouldn't even reveal what it was that was different. That's something that they've done and done with great success here. Close to the outside corner, but called a ball. 2-2.
Fastball away. Box track says it caught that corner, caught the black.
2-2. Chopper, the third. Longoria gets the first hop. And another 1-2-3 inning, 5 no-hit innings for Matt Moore, and a 1-0 Rays lead. Thank you, Tom. Mike Pelfrey pitching to Sam Fold. First pitch up high, ball one. It'll just seem more like a Yankee lineup when the Twins get there with Jeter in it. It still will seem odd to write down Vernon Wells' name, and Travis Hafner's name, and
Lyle Overbay.
1-1 to Fold.
Fouled away, 1-2. Belfry coming off the disabled list, pitched 6 shutout innings against the Jays, and now against the Rays. You can't say he scattered 5 hits because the Rays got 3 in a row to score a run, but just singles. Hasn't walked anybody, but his strike to ball ratio is still not what he would like. 1-2. 2-2. And another foul ball. This is the only trip here this year, and the Rays come to Minnesota in mid-September. Two and two. Up a little bit, 3-2. If the season were to end right now, Tampa Bay would be one of the 2 wild card teams. They'd be in, and Texas would be in. Texas a half game behind Oakland. And the Rays 3.5 behind Boston. That's hit to right, and running toward the corner is Cleve Thomas. Fold finally put away, 1 down, and that'll bring up Sean Rodriguez. Pepsi fans of the game. A lot of Twins fans have made it here. Been frustrated, like the Twins fans back in Minnesota, with how the team has been playing. 1 down in the 5th. Fouled back. When they were at the bottom of the American League East all those years, you were trying to imagine a way where this franchise could somehow get into postseason play. And we always recited the line about the division they're in, made it almost impossible for the Rays to get into a playoff spot at the expense of the Yankees, of the Red Sox, the Blue Jays, the Orioles. And when they started going to the playoffs, well, I guess we thought, well, maybe as a wild card somehow they could get in, but they won the division outright the first 2 times they went in. Winning the East, going to the World Series in 2008, and winning the East again in 2010. And they sneaked in on the Longoria home run in 2011.
Well, you know what, the Rays, they were in last place for so many years. They did a good job of signing a lot of, the first-round draft picks, and all those draft picks came up, had success.
Fouled away. That's what makes the attendance here so dispiriting, because they've gone about things the right way. They've developed their own talent. They've had, one would argue, perhaps over the last 5 years, the most exciting product on the field. Great pitching. Young athletic lineup. Swing and a miss, and Rodriguez is gone, 2 down.
And Pelfrey picks up his 3rd strikeout.
All-Star break comes up after Sunday's game in New York. Then the Twins are back at it on Friday, and if you're among the first 10,000 fans through the gate, you can get your Bauer-Morneau double bobble. Go to twinsbaseball.com and get your tickets, or call 800-33-TWINS. Check out tickets for that game or any other game left in the 2013 season. 2 gone. Matt Joyce, the batter. Ball 1. Ball 2. talked when Correa pitched last night about how he's given the Twins what they had every reason to expect. There's a line drive caught to Parmelee. We'll talk more about Pelfrey's season and how it has gradually but steadily improved.
Well, Twins still looking for their first hit. Rays up 1-0. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins.
Matt Moore, the third opposing pitcher to no-hit the Twins through 5 innings. Matt Harvey got to the 7th inning before Justin Morneau flicked a home run down the right field line. Anibal Sanchez took one into the 9th before Joe Mauer broke it up. Lee Thomas, Pedro Florimon, and Brian Dozier here in the Twins' 6th. Swing and a miss. Thomas struck out his first time up.
Yeah, on 3 pitches, that being the 4th strikeout for Moore in the 3rd inning. Moore with 6 strikeouts in a ball game, 1 walk, the only base runner being Joe Mauer.
Breaking ball over for strike 2. Off the plate, 1-2. Grounded to the shortstop. Rodriguez has it. 1 away. Set your compass due north Thursday nights on Fox Sports North. Join host Bill Shirk and Laura Schara as they take a look at the stories and adventures of outdoor enthusiasts in the upper Midwest. Due North Outdoors Thursdays at 6 only on Fox Sports North. 1 down. Pedro Florimon hit a line drive back to the mound. Moore gloved it. It wasn't a wicked line drive or anything like that. But if Moore hadn't put leather on it, it might have gotten up the middle for a base hit. 1-0. 1 base runner for the Twins. Joe Mauer's 2-out single in the 4th. Check swing foul. 1-1. We have seen Florimon have better at bats from the right side of the plate, putting the barrel of the bat on it and driving the ball, even though he hasn't gotten many hits to show for it. Two and one. 2-2.
Well, Moore doing a good job of changing his repertoire. Good fastball. We've seen it as high as 95. The changeup right there. The strike away, mixing in that breaking ball. This will be pitch number 70.
3-2.
Second 3 or full count by Moore. The other one Parmley. That coming in the second inning when he struck him out.
Full count to Florimon. Now Tapper foul. Struck him out. 2 down.
Right, went with a changeup right there, and Florimon way out front. So strikeout number 7 for Matt Moore. Pull the string.
Two down, and now Dozier, who fouled out to Longoria in the first, popped up to Rodriguez in the fourth. Other than Florimon's semi-soft line drive to the mound in the third inning, the only well-hit ball came off the bat of Carroll, who lined out to Matt Joyce in the fourth. Everything else has just been lifted harmlessly in the air or hit on a couple of hops to an infielder. 1-0 to Dozier. That is a fair ball. Dozier finally gets a base hit with a line drive, and that breaks up the nonsense with 2 gone in the 6th. And Moore will get an appreciative round of applause here. Dozier was robbed of a hit by Longoria last night on a ball hit to the glove side. This time he went to the backhand side.
I think this is a changeup right here, and Dozier, you see the ball up in the zone. Got the bat out quickly, and Longoria, you see where he's playing, the ball hit sharply past him down into that left field corner. So Dozier gets the Twins' first hit, his 12th double of the year. Comes with 2 outs here in the 6th inning.
Well, now the task at hand is to get him in with the tying run. Carroll at the plate, 0 for 2, a pop up to second, and the line drive to left fielder Matt Joyce.
Carroll has driven in 7 runs so far this year.
Inside ball 1.
Outfield playing very shallow. See Will Myers in right field, very shallow. You've seen him a couple games with his back against the wall.
Strike 1-1.
I kind of picked Myers because that's where a lot of Carroll's hits go, toward right field.
And it might be the difference between preserving a 1-0 lead or letting the base hit drop in front of you and Dozier scoring. 1-1. 2-1. Twins, of course, have had a tough time getting 2-out hits with men in scoring position. Their season average with men in scoring positions, 246. That's the same as the overall team batting average, but One's going through a stretch right now where it just seems like they can't buy a hit.
No, in the month of July, with runners in scoring position, Twins are hitting 171, 14 for 82.
And that's headed up the middle into center field. Dozier around third. He's coming in. Fold winds up and fires one to the backstop. And Carroll will hold up, taking one extra base. The Twins get a big hit with 2 out. And a man in scoring position, and it's the veteran Carroll who delivers it.
Yeah, Fold will get an error on that overthrow.
Should get points for distance.
But Carroll picking up his 8th RBI. And the Twins tie it at 1 apiece, so it comes out with 2 outs here. Carroll right back up the middle. Making good contact, and Sam Fold saying, look how far I can throw.
Forget the cutoff man. He overshot the catcher.
Carroll will get the single. Fold will pick up his first error of the year. And Dozier scores.
A pair of 2-out hits, the tying run, and now Bauer to the plate. Bauer with a strikeout in the first on 3 pitches, and then he drew a 5-pitch walk in the 4th. Jim Hickey has spoken his piece with Matt Moore. Strike 1.
And for Moore, that RBI single by Carroll, that stopped the scoreless streak of 22 1/3 scoreless innings. That being a career high for Moore.
Pair of 2-out hits. See if the Twins can get another one here from Mauer. Swing and a miss. 0-2.
They take the error away from Fold. They say that he just advanced on the overthrow. And boy, was that an overthrow.
So no error, okay?
No error, no.
Mauer driving it to the left field corner, but foul. That just looked like an error. You know, I mean.
That's called airing it out.
Yeah.
Boy, I think he wanted to preserve, try to throw out the runner at home. He just airballed it.
Had a little windage problem, too. It wasn't even toward home plate. Two strikes to Mauer. And Mauer strikes out. The Twins get a pair of 2-out hits, their first hits of the game, and the tying run in the 6th. Try the new Premium McWrap at McDonald's today. I'm loving it. And by Toyota. Let's go places. To find your nearest Toyota dealer and check out our current offers, visit buyatoyota.com.
One apiece now. Twins getting their first 2 hits. Mike Pelfrey's given the Twins another nice outing. Jamie Carroll driving in the tying run with a base hit. Dozier had doubled with 2 outs. And now Pelfrey, who's given the Twins 5 good innings, will hope to get through the 6th quickly so he can also pitch the 7th.
Yeah, good pitch counts for Pelfrey. 73 pitches, 42 for strikes. His first 5 innings.
Myers has 2 of the Tampa Bay hits. He'll lead off the 6th. Scott and Longoria will follow. Ball 1. Pelfrey's gotten to this point with 75 pitches, but there sure seems to be a lot of at-bats where he falls behind 2-0.
Yeah, 19 batters faced. He's been able to get strike 1 on 8 of the 19.
Wow. 2-0 to Myers. Strike call. Pelfrey, predictably, I suppose, in retrospect, had a pretty rough April with an ERA of just over 7.5. And it still wasn't very good in May, and an ERA of just under 6, but it was improving. And there were some games within the month of May that kind of lifted some optimism that he'd be able to be a productive starter this year for the Twins. 6 innings, 1 run in Cleveland. Then in June, just 3 starts, but at least 6 innings in every one. A decent ERA, but now a good start in Toronto, backed up by another good one so far here. And a called 3rd strike. He's come back from 2-0 to strike out Myers to start the 6th inning.
And all those pitches outer half of the plate. Remember in the 3rd inning when he went inside on a 1-0 pitch. I mean, all these pitches outer half of the plate for Myers, and picks up a strikeout. Pitcher's pitch. I'd like to put that in a little bottle right there. That's a perfect pitch. And Pelfrey picks up his 4th strikeout.
1 down. That'll bring up Luke Scott. A fly ball to right. And a ground ball double play. As the Twins reconstructed the rotation, the hope was that whatever Pelfrey and Correa and guys like that gave the Twins in April, it would get better as the season's worn along. Now, Correa, different story. He's not coming back an arm issue from last year, but in Pelfrey's case, I think everyone anticipated there'd be some rough spots early on, but what they have seen is gradual improvement until the disabling period, and now he just looks completely rejuvenated so far.
Yeah, prior to going on a disabled list, you mentioned, 2 of his 3 starts were quality starts. Then he comes off the DL with the back issue. His quality start in his last outing, 6 shutout innings. So he's getting better.
2 strikes to Scott. And a deep drive to right. That one, a long one. Man, that was over the seats. And the Rays go back in front on an 0-2 pitch.
I hate giving up those 0-2. I gave up many of them. It does not make you feel very good on the mound. Take a look right here. You're going inside. You're ahead in the count. If you miss, you better miss inside. And that ball kind of came back over the plate. And
that was
Scott
clobbered.
Gave it a ride. His 7th home run of the year, and just like that, the Rays now get that run back. And lead 2-1.
Longoria with a couple of outfield flies. Scott's 7th of the year.
Only the 8th home run that Pelfrey has allowed, this being his 16th start.
There's another one, perhaps. Gone. Longoria and Scott go back to back. Pelfrey cruising along through 5 1/3 innings, locating very well until the 0-2 pitch is hammered over the right field fence. Now Longoria skies one to left center.
Well, Longoria leading the Rays in home runs. That's number 18 on the year. And again, trying to go inside, but not inside far enough. Longoria with that open stance wants something middle in that he can do exactly that.
And now James Loney. Ball 1. Third time this year that Pelfrey's given up 2 home runs in a game. Earlier against the Tigers and the White Sox. On the outside corner. Down low, 2-1.
Fourth time this season the Rays have had back-to-back home runs.
And fouled away over the Twins dugout. 2-2. Mentioned last night when we left the air at what, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, whenever it was. Twins bullpen actually probably in a little bit better shape than Tampa Bay's because Michael Tonkin is here with Caleb Thielbar going back to Minnesota for the funeral of his grandmother. There's Tonkin, who has showed up here yesterday. Couldn't be in uniform, of course, because he wasn't on the roster. But Thielbar on the bereavement list, which is a minimum of 3 days and a maximum of 7. 3-2. And a liner fair down the line. Another extra base hit. 2 home runs and now a double for Loney. Pelfrey hadn't given up an extra base hit through 5 1/3 innings. Now they're jumping on him with 1 out in the 6th.
Yeah, Loney's second hit of the ball game. His 22nd double of the year. Again, trying to go back inside again, but leaving the ball over the plate. Harmley diving for the ball, but did not get it. And Loney sliding in safely ahead of the throw. We've seen this way too many times here in the 5th, 6th inning that the starters just kind of lose it. Quick trip to the mound by Rick Anderson.
It's been a chronic issue in the 5th inning for Scott Diamond. He was the one starter the Twins carried over from last year where they thought he'd give predictable performances, but he's been very inconsistent. Kelly Johnson will hit. He's been called out twice. See what he can get done here with still 1 out in the 6th.
A strike.
Well, I look at what Pelfrey went through this inning. It's just execution of the pitches that were not where he wanted them. Ahead in the count to Scott, 0-2. Trying to go inside, but left it. Ball came back. Scott hit the home run. Same thing for Longoria. Ball inside. They're going inside. Left out over the plate. Longoria home run. Loney, same thing. Wanting to go inside. Left it out over the plate. Double down the right field line.
And that has to be one of the most exasperating parts of this season for Rick Anderson and Ron Gardenhire. Starters, and it's not just Pelfrey. It's happened to Correa when they've tried to stretch him out, get that extra inning out of him. Diamond. You know, things are cruising along. The location is there. You can tell that from the dugout. You know, they're hitting their spots. They seem to be enjoying good command. And then it just, all of a sudden, disappears.
Well, you tell yourself you're going to go in hard, especially 0-2. Knock them off the plate. Maybe open the outer half of the plate.
2-2. Johnson's been called out twice and nearly got called out again.
Both time Johnson taking that pitch middle in. I'm sure Johnson looking for that right here. Pelfrey shaking off some signs.
Eight hits for the Rays, 2 3-hit sequences. 3 straight singles in the third for a run. And now 3 extra base hits in a row in the 6th.
First pitch of the inning for Pelfrey. You can see the pitch count now at 94.
And now 3-2. I suppose that's one of the things you have to do or try to do as a manager or a pitching coach. Get a pitcher out of the game the inning before something like this happens. How in the world are you supposed to tell? You've got an overworked bullpen to begin with, and you can't be blamed for trying to milk every out that you can from your starting rotation given the shortcomings of the season. And Johnson strikes out for the 3rd time, 2 down.
A change up right there. Good location away. And Pelfrey picks up his 5th strikeout. 2nd this inning.
We've seen Moore use that changeup on 3-2 to get some strikeouts, and now Pelfrey uses it. Lobaton will hit. A fly ball to center, a ground ball to third. Strike 1 over the inside corner. What was our spring training record? What was the Twins' spring training record?
I wasn't there. I don't know. I was in Taiwan and Japan and San Francisco. We can't, if they had a good record, we can't add it to what
I'm trying
done.
to find a way. The Twins have won a baseball game in the state of Florida this year, haven't they?
Oh, sure they have, yes.
Okay. Hoping to come back and win this one. 0-2 to Lobaton. A couple of very disappointing losses against the Marlins, and this bad stretch of baseball, I suppose if you want to trace it back to that series, you can. Twins have been playing good baseball, had a couple of good homestands. Won the final game in Cleveland, had an off day in Miami, lost 2 there, and they've really never recovered from that. 3 wins for the Twins since June 23rd. Two strikes to Lobaton as Pelfrey tries to strand Loney at second base. 1-2.
Yeah, with that win on that Sunday in Cleveland, there were only 4 games under 500.
This has been such a dramatic downturn. One and two.
Well, like I said earlier, in the ball game, nobody's going to feel sorry for you. You got to pick it up and work a little bit harder.
2-2.
Now 100 pitches. He went in with 73 pitches into this inning, thinking if he could have a quick inning, maybe he could go 7 innings. But 27 pitches already here in the 6th inning. And, of course, that means probably this is his last inning, so that puts another burden on that bullpen.
He's run the count full to Lobaton. I believe this will be Pelfrey's last batter one way or the other. Sam Fold on deck.
Josh Renicky is loose out on that bullpen.
Full count to Lobaton. Fouled away, back into the seats. Renicky, Perkins, and the just activated Michael Tonkin, the 3 guys out there who didn't pitch last night.
Yeah, that last fastball at 92. Okay, that was 101st pitch, so it shows that his arm strength is there. It's just the execution of his pitches. Bad pitch selection, trying to go in and not going in far enough to Scott and to Longoria.
Another 3-2 to Lobaton. And another foul back. But we're seeing 91-92 when a couple innings ago it was 94, 95.
I always feel that, your arm, to me, and this is just me talking, old school talking, my arm never got tired. My legs. If my legs get tired, then my arm's going to drag a little bit. And we have seen it too many times in the 5th and 6th inning that the arm starts to drag.
What's he got, 30-some pitches this inning?
He's got 30 pitches this inning.
And Pelfrey will try it again on 3-2. Long counts, long time between pitches.
Well, this is a big pitch here. You don't want to. You're down a couple right here. Need this final out.
Popped up, short left.
That should be it.
And the Twins, who tie the game in the top of the 6th, have seen the Rays retake the lead in the bottom of the inning.
Taking a no-hitter into the 6th inning with 2 outs. It was a double by Dozier, finally able to, and then Jamie Carroll's RBI single put the run on the board. That tied the game. There's Carroll's RBI single, scoring Dozier. But in the 6th inning, back-to-back home runs by Luke Stott and Evan Longoria makes it a 3-1 Rays lead.
It's 3-1 as we go to the 7th inning. Mike Berardino does a great job covering the Twins for the St. Paul paper. Watching the telecast back home. He's away from the club on this part of the road trip anyway, and he nice enough to inform me on Twitter and the rest of his followers that the Twins were 17-16 in spring training this year. So overall, their record in the state of Florida right now is 17-21. It's just that the other games don't count.
I was going to say that's the good and the bad.
So the Twins will try to mount a comeback again. Trevor Plouffe will lead things off in the 7th. First pitch popped up. And dunking out of the way is Johnson. Myers with the catch. Plouffe quickly retired, 1 away. And that'll bring up Chris Parmelee.
Defensive change for the Rays. Escobar taking over at shortstop for the Rays, and Rodriguez, who was at short, takes over at second base. So Kelly Johnson out of the ball game.
Well, really the best afternoon for Kelly Johnson. He struck out 3 times against Mike Pelfrey.
He's probably happy that Joe Madden took him out.
So what'd you put me in the lineup for in the first place? Parmelee's 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground ball to first. And 0-2 now to Parmelee. One and 2.
Well, for a guy that came into the ball game 53 walks in 100 innings pitched, Moore has done a good job. Only 1 walk, 8 strikeouts.
Check swing. Two and 2 to Parmelee. Full count, Arcia on deck.
Third full count for Moore. Second time he has gone 3-2 on Parmelee. And just like the first time, he struck him out in the second inning. Now he gets his 9th strikeout here in the 7th.
Vikings training camp starts in just a couple of weeks, and FoxSportsNorth.com is getting you ready with a position preview every weekday. Read Brian Hall's story about Adrian Peterson and the rest of the running backs right now, and come back each day for more. 2 down in the 7th. That'll bring up Arcia.
You know, they have a promotion here with 10 strikeouts of the staff for the Rays. Everybody gets a free pizza. We saw it last night. I was wondering, you know, we had 19 strikeouts. The Twins did.
Should be a large pizza, I would think that.
If they had gone to 20, would there be 2 pizzas you could get?
I don't know. We haven't gotten the first one yet.
You didn't get it delivered to your room?
I did not.
I must have got yours.
You did have a button pop off your shirt today.
Yes, I did. Yeah, I wish that was pizza.
1-1 to Arcia. One and 2.
Well, 3 starts ago, Moore against the Toronto Blue Jays here had a career high 11 strikeouts in the ball game. He's with 9 right now, with 2 outs here in the 7th.
Landed about 3 feet in front of the plate. 2-2. Arcia going through a bit of a grind right now, and the Twins want him to get on the other end of it and make the changes you talked about if he's being pitched differently. Make the adjustments and get back to driving the ball using the whole field. Two and two.
I think clubs, scouts saw that what kind of I saw at the beginning was that, he doesn't give way much to that pitch inside. He kind of drops that right shoulder into that pitch wherever it is.
It's a good thing, though, isn't it?
It's a good thing. But now they're, kind of saying, okay, you're a diver, but you know what? And everybody gets a free pizza now. Boy, are the kids going to be happy here.
Wow. And 1 month old.
He is hereby circled.
If I read that right, I just glanced at the sign up from Baudette, Minnesota, way up there. And our Century link to what's next, right-hander Josh Renicky.
Yeah, Renicky worked here a couple nights ago. 1 shutout inning in the Twins 4-1 loss through 13 pitches, 9 for strikes. Say it again, the walk a little bit high, ratio a little bit high, but Renicky doing a fair job out of that bullpen.
1 strike. Fold Rodriguez and Joyce facing Renicky here in the 7th inning. Chopper left side. Florimone over to Parmelee. Nice play for the first out.
Very nice play by Florimone. I like to see that. Nice play.
Well, let's check it out. The AT Twitter poll. Which one do you think was Aaron Hicks' best catch this season? And the one right here, overwhelmingly, 84%. I thought it'd be more split than that. That one probably didn't get the votes the others because it would not have been a home run.
Fans don't like pain.
No, I don't either. I just respect it. And the ability to hold on to a baseball when you do a face plant against a fence. Now we'll hear from Aaron Hicks here in just a little bit. Get his thoughts about which one was the best. 1-1.
Benzova pinch hitting here in the 7th inning against Renicky. Got the game-winning RBI in last night's 13-inning ball game.
Two and one to Rodriguez. I beg your pardon, to Zobrist, yes. Three and one, and a foul back. 3-2. He was kind of a surprise pick by Jim Leland to go to the All-Star team, go to the All-Star game. Indication of how seriously Leland is taking the game, wanting to win it, perhaps win home field advantage for the American League team in the World Series. By the Twins bullpen.
Zobrist making his second All-Star appearance, and Joe Madden, one of those, his brother, yeah, Joe Madden, saying that Zobrist is a good utility guy, and that's the importance of winning the ball game. And Zobrist saying himself, hey, I'd like to go over there, get a maybe game-winning hit that might give us home field advantage in the
deep to right center field. And that ball hits on a warning track. Hicks reached for it but didn't catch it. Now the ball rolls free. And Zobrist will stand at third with a triple. Like Hicks had gotten to where he could reach out and catch it. But then I lost sight of it.
Let's take a look at a pitch right here. Ball looked like a breaking ball. Hicks going back.
No, it was out of his reach. A one-out triple for Zobrist. That'll force the Twins to bring the infield in. Matt Joyce, the batter. You see how short Zobrist's swing was? I mean, there was no follow-through. He just snapped the bat at the ball, put the barrel on it, and drove it about 400 feet. Joyce 1 for 3. Takes a pitch up high. Very high again. Myers on deck. He's trying to keep this game within reach. And there's a strike on the outside corner. One. 3-2.
Good breaking ball there. Outer half of the plate down.
Struck him out.
Big strikeout right there. Keep the game where it's at the 3-1 Rays lead. Renicky picking up a big strikeout for the second out.
Well, let's check in with Kevin Gord.
Yeah, I thought those were surprising results with our AT&T Twitter poll. Aaron Hicks would disagree as well. He still lists the catch at Target Field against Adam Dunn as his first and most favorite catch of those three. He puts last night second because of the game situation. Still enjoyed that catch in Milwaukee. And that's the exact order I had, guys. But, Dick, you made the point earlier at the breakfast table, a lot of different opinions because he's had so many wonderful plays.
Swing and a miss, all three spectacular catches. Again, given the gravity of the situation last night, sending the game into another extra inning, it just was a such a critical juncture in the game.
I don't think you can go wrong with any of those.
Yeah. Hey, let's hope he keeps making them out there for 10 more years. 2 strikes. Nicky trying to pitch around the 1-out triple here in the 7th. Foul back. Myers with a pair of hits drove in a run with a broken bat single in the 3rd. And then Pelfrey struck him out in the 6th. It was in the 6th inning, right after Myers' strikeout, that the Rays got back-to-back home runs against Pelfrey. And you look at the 6 innings, 3 earned runs. It qualifies as a quality start. Michael Tonkin warming up in preparation to come in for his debut. Perhaps Myers with his 3rd hit and a 2-out single makes it a 4-1 ball game.
Myers picking up his 2nd RBI of the ball game. And when you're going well, you get those 2-out hits. The ball left right down the heart of the plate. Wanted it away, but Myers taking it up the middle. And it's a 4-1 ball game.
And now Scott, who cranked an 0-2 pitch. Perhaps off the back wall here at Tropicana Field. That's the longest home run I've seen hit here. It gave the Rays a 2-1 lead. They've added 2 more to lead now 4-1. 10 hits for the Rays, just 2 for the Twins. And they put those hits back to back to score the 1 run they've got. Costly run for the Twins because at 3-1 as we move forward through the 8th and 9th inning. Pretty likely that Fernando Rodney would not be used today since he's used in the first 3 games of the series. Don't know that for sure, but you can imagine Joe Madden going in another direction if there's a save to be had. So the Twins wanted to try to keep this a 2-run ball game. But that didn't happen. 3-0 now to Scott. 3-1. Have been impressed with Alex Torres. A couple of outings in the first 2 games of the series.
Yeah, he may get the 8th inning. Matt Moore with 96 pitches after 7.
Goes ball 4, and we'll see whether Renicky completes the inning or not here. Ron Gardenhire is going to go out and bring in Michael Tonkin for his major league debut. Renicky got a couple of outs, couldn't get the 3rd out. A frustrating inning here for Renicky. And Michael Tonkin will be brought in for his major league debut.
This morning, I guess, it's just kind of exciting. Just I'm going to be very antsy, but excited and ready to go.
Michael Tonkin, a 6'7", 220. He was a 30th round draft choice of the Twins, and the brother-in-law of Jason Kubel. Twins took a look at Tonkin based on Kubel's recommendation. Tonkin was in Minnesota, and the story goes Terry Ryan asked Ron Gardenhire, Rick Anderson, hey, go take a look at this kid in the bullpen and see what you think, and they did. And on the basis of that tryout, they like what they saw.
Yeah. Tonkin, just 23 years old, out of Glendale, California, at the Palmdale High School, and then signed by the Twins. Sinker slider, that's the scouting report on Tonka, with a changeup.
More head shaking in the Twins dugout. First and second, 2 down. Longoria takes a 94-mile-per-hour fastball up around the hands.
Tonka started in Double-A New Britain, then moved up on May 30th to Triple-A Rochester.
Just about untouchable there. Outside, 2-0.
The butterflies are there.
He was the closer for the Red Wings. 2-0. And he forgot about the front runner. And Myers steals third. Strike call, 2-1. First and third, 2 down.
For Myers, he gets a stolen base, his first major league stolen base.
Two. Twins had Tonkin in spring training this year in big league camp. He got into some games and made quite an impression, not just in the Twins dugout, but he made quite an impression on the other teams. Teams wondering, who is this guy? Where'd you get him? Two and two. And his first major league hitter, Evan Longoria, strikes out. He comes back from 2-0 to strike him out and end the inning. Perennial all-star Evan Longoria came back from 2-0 to strike him out.
Yeah, just reared back and challenged him right there. So congratulations to Michael Tonka, picking up his first major league out on the strikeout, getting fist pumps all around.
A 3-run lead now for Matt Moore, who's going to at least start the 8th inning.
Well, I like this. 96 pitches. You would think with a 3-run lead, you kind of protect this young guy, but the most pitches he's thrown, 117, that coming earlier this year. And there really has not been an inning that he has been under duress.
Yeah.
You know, the Twins only hit where they're in the sixth, the double by Dozier, and then followed by the Carroll RBI. That's been it. 10 strikeouts, only 1 walk, that being Mauer in the 4th inning.
The exception of Torres, the Rays went through their whole bullpen last night in the 13-inning ball game. Here's Aaron Hicks. Thomas and Florimone will follow. Hicks motions as if he's going to bunt and takes a strike. 0 for 2, a fly ball to center, a ground ball to third. That's to the right field corner. And Myers, with a circle route out there, gets under it, 1 away.
Well, Matt Moore came in with 17 1/3 shutout innings. His last 2 starts. He was dealing here early, and he's been still dealing here in the 8th inning. 10 strikeouts, only he's allowed 2 hits. Changing speeds well.
Clayton Thomas will hit. He struck out in the 3rd, bounced to short in the 6th. Down and away, ball 1.
A lot of these young pitchers in the staff crediting David Price when he came off the disabled is to kind of get him going a little bit, and boy, has he ever. Price, in his last start, first complete game for the Rays this year. And he threw 98 pitches.
He said he never felt better on the mound than he did in his last start, which he's obviously had some very good games. But that's why this Rays team, to me, my goodness, they'll do it in relative obscurity, drawing about 17,000 fans a night here. But they're, I can't think of anybody, Detroit included, that I would pick over Tampa Bay right now to get into and do well in the playoffs. They've got it all going right now. They've got a closer in Rodney. That's something the Tigers haven't established yet. Might be Benoit, might be Jonathan Papelbon, who knows. But you know, there are some issues with the Tigers that right now the Rays don't have.
Well, crowd today here at Tropicana Field, 24,751.
3-2 to Thomas. And Thomas will take a walk with 1 out in the 8th. We'll bring up Florimone. With the 2013 baseball season in its 4th month, still a good time for you to get a group together and bring them to Target Field. Call 800-33-TWINS. Visit twinsbaseball.com. If you do the organizing, you get some extra benefits. You can ask about that either online or on the phone. Catch some baseball at Target Field in 2013. Outside of ball. Florimone lined out to Moore in the 3rd inning and then went down swinging on a changeup in the 6th. Chipped his bat, and a flare to right, a base hit. The bat broke lengthwise, and Florimone will get a base hit.
Yeah, and here comes Joe Madden walking slowly out to the mound.
And he's going to bring Torres into the ball game to face Dozier. Moore getting the start of the 8th inning and getting an out. But the walk to the number 8 batter, the flare by the number 9 batter, and the Twins will get the tying run to the plate. And Moore with a great start against the Twins here this afternoon. face Torres, who has really done a nice job for the Rays this year, used in back-to-back games for the first time Monday and Tuesday night here.
Yeah, he started in the minor leagues. He got called up, and then when David Price went on a disabled list, option back. This is his second stint back with the Rays this year. He's kind of the Caleb Thielbar for the Rays. He's done a great job. Only 6 hits allowed in 26 innings pitched. 33 strikeouts.
And here's Dozier, who represents the tying run, but I think what the Twins are anxious to see here is Dozier just working on driving the ball. Torres doesn't give up home runs, and Dozier doesn't hit that many of them. The Twins just need to keep the line moving here. Takes high, ball 1. Torres 26 innings, hasn't given up a home run. Dozier does have some power. We've seen that. He's got 8 home runs. Swing and a miss. 1-1.
A good changeup right there. Torres, 25 years old, from Venezuela. He came up in 2011. Was the 26th man last year when he got called up in a doubleheader, was not used, and then sent back down.
Up high, 2-1. The 8 and 9 batters have started an 8th inning rally. Lifted to right field. Myers is there, makes the catch. 2 down. And that'll bring up Carroll. Carroll being called back, and Ryan Domit's going to hit. Domit caught all 13 innings last night and saved for a pinch hitting appearance here, and the veteran Domit hoping to deliver a big extra base hit.
Yeah, Carroll driving in the only run so far, so he's 1 for 3 in a ball game with the RBI. And for Domit as a pinch hitter, 0 for 9 so far. Time to get his first hit as a pinch hitter.
Down low, ball 1. Domit 13 innings yesterday, caught 7 different pitchers.
Yeah, 3 hits in last night's ball game, hitting .300 as a right-handed hitter.
Very high, 2-0. If Domit can reach, then Mauer would hit. Thomas at second and Florimon at first. Three and 0. Domit would get the green light here. He's capable of hitting the ball over the fence, and that's what the Twins need.
Lobaton going out, probably talking about that right here. Be careful with this pitch.
7 home runs from the left side of the plate, only 1 in 90 at bats from this side of the plate.
A lot of times when a hitter gets that green light, you're looking for one pitch, and normally I would think that would be middle in, that something that you can drive over the wall.
3-0 to Ryan Domit. And a 4-pitch walk. And Mauer will come up. We'll see if the Twins pinch run for Domit here. Escobar would be available, a faster runner, and right now Domit represents the tying run. And Jim Hickey's going to run to the mound. And Thomas goes to third. Florimone to second. And for right now, Domit remains at first. And there comes Escobar out of the Twins dugout. Peralta warming up, just starting his warm-up tosses. Domit draws a walk, and Escobar will take his spot at first base and then take over in the infield in the bottom of the inning. Mauer has not put a ball in play. He has struck out twice and walked. Mauer with 27 doubles and one right here.
Would be nice.
Might tie the game. And Torres misses high and inside. Two and 0.
Two straight changeups to Joe, falling behind an account.
Seven straight out of the strike zone for Torres. He walked Domit on 4. Now it's 3-0 to Mauer. The bases are loaded. Plouffe is on deck.
Peralta in the bullpen. Hickey on the phone, making sure he'd be ready.
Takes a strike. Won't mention it again until it happens. Twins don't have a grand slam yet this year.
He's going to have to throw another strike here.
3-1 to Mauer. Chopped up the line, just foul. That ball landed near the bag and just outside the line. 3-2. The whip to the baseball on the other side of the line. Runners will be taking off here. Twins with their best hitter at the plate. And a chance to get back into the game. To left field, down for a hit. It'll score 2. Escobar holds up at second. Mauer drops a single to left, driving in 2, and it's a 1-run game.
Well, Joe got the count in his favor. Fastball just hits it softly into left field. It's a 4-3 ball game.
And it'll get Torres out of the game. Joe Madden walking to the mound. Twins getting a couple here in the 8th. Hoping they're not done yet. Trevor Plouffe will hit against Joel Peralta. And it's a 4-3 ball game.
Yeah, a couple runs scored this inning. Those are his responsibility. So his line is done. 7 1/3 innings, 3 runs all earned. But Joel Peralta coming in, making his 3rd relief appearance in this series, his 48th overall. Worked 1 shutout inning here on Monday night, and then last night a shutout inning.
Tying run at second. 2 away. Plouffe at the plate. Strike on the outside corner. Plouffe with a pair of strikeouts and a fly ball to right against Moore.
The Twins saw Peralta split finger, a breaking ball, and then a fastball in the low 90s.
Very high, 1-1. Escobar, the pinch runner, now at second base. Mauer delivered the 2-run single. He's at first. A high foul fly over the Twins dugout, 1-2.
Yeah, that split finger stayed up right there. Plouffe a little out front. Nobody's appeared in more games this year than Joel Peralta. This is his 48th relief appearance. And for the Rays, their 93rd game.
One and 2. Blue strikes out. Twins leave the tying run at second in the 8th. Tonkin struck out Evan Longoria to end the 7th inning. The Twins got a couple of runs. Twins had Casey Fiend warming up in the event they had taken the lead. He again filling the role previously held by Jared Burton. So since that did not happen, Tonkin's asked to go out there and pitch in the 8th. Escobar in at third base. And we'll see what Tonkin does here. Starting a new inning.
Yeah, Twins get back into this ball game, just down a run. He wants to go out and put a 0 on the board.
Base is empty, and it's almost a rarity. He's using a full windup. Tonkin was a starting pitcher up until a few years ago. And he delivers strike 1 to James Loney. You just don't see it very often. Now, if a guy from Brian Dunsink, he'll pitch from the stretch, even with nobody on base. And it just seems like more and more relievers do that rather than what Tonkin's doing. 1-1. By the way, the fastball that struck out Longoria clocked at 96 miles per hour. Here's a ball driven to left, and Arcia is there. 1 away. He's have another left-hander warming up for the 9th inning. I guess McGee out there. Rather than Kyle Farnsworth, the veteran, McGee might get the call, which might keep Justin Morneau on the bench. We'll see. Kelly Johnson was 0 for 3 before taken out of the ball game. Escobar taking his spot in the batting order, and he pops it up to right field. Thomas is there. 2 quick outs in the 8th for Michael Tonkin. Jose Lobaton, the batter, with 2 away in the 8th. Up and away, ball 1. Just because Tonkin was added to the roster with Thielbar going on the bereavement list doesn't necessarily mean that Tonkin will be the guy going back to Rochester. In other words, you can send somebody else back at the other end of the transaction. Doesn't necessarily have to be Tonkin. And what the Twins decide to do, we'll find out in New York. Good inning.
A quick 1-2-3 inning.
See if the Twins have another comeback in the 9th. This afternoon, this morning, the game started back in the Midwest area. Matt Moore, a very good ball game. Twins got a couple of hits against him in the 6th to break up the no-hitter, but then the Rays came right back.
Yeah, the back-to-back home runs by Luke Scott and Evan Longoria that chased Pelfrey out of the ball game. And the Twins come back with a couple runs here. A 2-run single by Joe Mauer with the bases loaded.
And Tonkin, if the Twins can get a couple of runs, might stand a decent chance of winning his major league debut out of the bullpen. As it is, the Twins are down a run. They've got 3 outs left, and they're due to send up Parmelee, Arcia, and Hicks. The only bench player still available is Morneau, but the pitcher on the mound is the left-hander Jake McGee.
Yeah, McGee making his 42nd relief appearance. He's worked a couple times in this series, looking for his first save on the year.
Fernando Rodney had been used in the first 3 games of the series. Parmelee and Arcia, left-handed batters, and then the switch hitter Hicks. Outside, ball 1. Parmelee against left-handers coming into the game with a 188 average, and was 0 for 3 against Matt Moore. Strike on the outside corner. Updated. Parmelee hitting 176 against lefties. Down and away, 2-1.
Well, McGee, a strikeout pitcher, 45 strikeouts in 35 1/3 innings pitched. It's in his 4th season with the Tampa Bay Rays.
And he get his first major league save here today. And Parmelee sends it back to his glove. 1 down. And that'll bring up Arcia. Arcia 0 for 3. Mike Parmelee 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Strike at the knees.
At 97.
McGee spent part of the 2011 season as a closer for Durham. It's a long ways from the big leagues. Had 9 saves in AAA. Swing and a foul, and that really took a piece out of Mike Estabrook. Oh my. 2 strikes to Arcia.
That'll leave a mark. On Porterfield, the head trainer goes out. Says, no, you're not rubbing that.
2 strikes to Arcia. Starting lineup that had Carroll and Mauer, the only batters with 1,000 at bats in the big leagues. So the Twins here in the 9th send 3 very inexperienced hitters up here trying to get the game tied up. 1 and 2. And Arcia showing some of that inexperience these days. Can't break the bat over his knee.
The frustration from last night. He struck out 4 times last night. That's his 3rd time he struck out here tonight.
Two down, and Aaron Hicks, the batter. At this point, just trying to keep the game alive for the Twins. Come back in the 8th, saw them get a couple of hits, a couple of walks, and a couple of runs. Trying to get something started with 2 down. Hicks swings and misses. Plenty of fastball. 97 miles per hour on the first offering to Hicks. after missing in the first 2 pitches to Parmalee. He's thrown 7 strikes in the next 8 pitches.
Well, the Rays 1 pitch away from sweeping the Twins here in this 4-game series. Last time that was done, go back to August of 2001.
Tom Kelly is still the manager back there. 2 strikes to Aaron Hicks. Into the seats. Morneau now in the on-deck circuit. If Hicks can keep the game alive, Morneau will hit for Thomas.
Shaking off another fastball.
And the Twins go 0 for Florida in 2013. And they are swept here in St. Petersburg in a 4-game series.
Well, Jake McGee picking up his first major league save. And the frustrating month of July continues for the Minnesota Twins. They are now 1-10 in the month of July.
The good news, Tom Hanneman, is they are leaving St. Petersburg. The bad news is they're going to New York City.
Jake McGee, the